back to our marital home in Florida while we figured things out. The separation went on so long, I began to wonder if we were really going to make it. So I made an appointment with a therapist in Florida, thinking maybe if we had somebody to negotiate with between us, we could figure things out. So the day before the appointment, I caught a flight out of Newark, landed in Sarasota, picked up a rental car, checked into a hotel. I really wasn't ready to spend time with my husband in our marital home. I did call him to let him know that I'd arrived safely and to just check in about the appointment the next day. And then he said something, under normal circumstances, this wouldn't have been odd, but we weren't under normal circumstances. He said, let's take the boat out. Our house in Florida was across the street from the Manatee River. We had a 14-foot Sea Raider, little jet boat, like a jet ski and a motorboat had a baby. We used to drive it up the Manatee River all the way to the I-75 bridge, accompanied by leaping dolphins and diving pelicans. It was always a treat. If we were feeling really brave, we would go into the intercoastal, that section of calm water between the mainland and Anna Maria Island. We never took it out into open water. But my husband was no longer keeping the boat at home on the trailer, so we met up at a marina in Sarasota. He was already in the boat. I hopped in, we eased away from the dock. But instead of turning right into the intercoastal, he headed straight toward the Gulf. I said, "What? No, stop, what are you doing? We can't take this boat out into the open water. It's too small, it's not built for that, blah, blah, blah." We were not an arguing couple, but we were certainly having an argument, and he was insistent that we go to the Gulf. Short of leaping overboard, I felt I had no other option. The wind in my hair, the beauty of Sarasota Bay, the smell of the salt water helped me relax. He cut the engine about 1,000 yards from shore and suggested we go swimming. Again, not an unusual suggestion. I had my suit on under my t-shirt and shorts, so I stripped off my outer layer and dove in. Beautiful, soft water. It felt like a warm hug. I looked back and I said, "Hey, aren't you getting in?" And he said, "Not really in the mood," which was super odd. We always swam together when we were out on the boat. So I'm paddling around by myself, and I see a 20-foot Grady white fishing boat headed in our direction. It slowed down and stopped. And one of the fishermen said, "Hey, didn't you hear the warning?" I look up, there's not a cloud in the sky. What is he talking about? I said, "What warning?" "Sharks! There's sharks in Sarasota Bay this afternoon." I scrambled back into the boat, feeling a little undone. My husband, without even saying a word, started the motor, turned the boat around, and we fell in behind the Grady white fishing boat, headed back to the marina. About a minute later, a huge rogue wave crashed over my head, filling our boat to the gunnels with water. If it hadn't been a kind of boat that had extra styrofoam in the hull, that boat would have been at the bottom of Sarasota Bay. It killed the engine, which wouldn't restart. We had no paddles, no bailing buckets. We were stupidly trying to bail with our hands. The fishermen, lucky for us, saw our dilemma, and with what I can only guess would be much eye-rolling and sighing, they came about, tossed me a rope, I tied it to the cleat, and they pulled our boat back to the marina to safety. Not long after this disastrous episode, I filed for divorce. Yeah. And I still sometimes wake up at night wondering, did he know about the sharks? Thank you.